yelled at. There we go.
How's your day?
Why are you echoey? My day's good. It's been good. It's been a very good day.
Miss Gomez, how's your day?
It's going really well.
It's like when
Is
like
that
she
an
has one of those.
effect? Or do you have an effect on that?
No.
Oh, so then it might just be the connection.
The connection or something. All right, guys. So let me grab my pointer. All right, guys, we have 13 days left together. That's Saturday and Sundays included. So without Saturday and Sunday, we have 7 in-class days, not including Wednesdays, but 7 Zoom more sessions. And 2 of those will be to take your final, and then 2 more will be taken for your review. So that's only 3 days of us being able to like mess around and chat and stuff. After that, we have it's like go time, and that's it. Okay, so
I miss you guys. I'm already
yeah,
missing you. No.
it's gonna be.
We miss you too.
So, a couple of things, guys. Because of the nature of today's class, we're not gonna have tutoring today. Basically today in class is tutoring. So we're gonna have 2 different things that you guys can do. One, I'm gonna show you, and then the other one, Ms. Gomez is gonna show you guys. And it's basically walking you guys. Ms. Gomez is gonna take you guys step by step on how to graph. Because I'm still having a lot of you guys like you're like, I still don't get slope. Totally okay for you guys to be like that. But so she's gonna go over something, and then I'll show you guys what your actual assignment is for today. Remember, next week, a week from today, we'll have a review. That'll be a 2-day review. The reason why it's 2 days is because your test is 2 days. It's 18 questions. So your final test is a longer test. And it's gonna take up Monday and Tuesday. Some of you guys might be like, oh, I only need 1 day to do this because you understand everything. Others, you might need, both days. So that's totally fine for you guys to take both days. Stop doing that. And then remember, March 10th is our last day together. But that's going to be a Wednesday. So unless you guys come for tutoring on that day, we basically see you guys on that Tuesday, and that's it. So what are we doing today? If you guys can come into Google Classroom and click on classwork, your assignment for today is going to be this one. So I want you guys to look at it, or at least watch what I'm doing. It's the second question. It's a second assignment. So week 2, countdown 1, 2. It's system of equation maze. And I'm going to type in my name, Doc 3. And it looks like this. So, yeah. Hiram, I need you to like either turn that thing off or put it in chat. If you're going to sound like a monster. I don't have any monsters in this class.
Apparently you do today.
No, I don't. Or put it in chat. So you guys have 2 pages. This second page is for you guys to graph all of your equations or all of your functions. And then this one is going to be your maze. All right. So it says, use slide 2 to graph the systems of equations, highlight the correct solution, follow the path to the next equation, and repeat the steps until you get the mice to the cheese. All right. I will let you guys know only 2 of these will not be used. All the other ones will be. So just letting you guys know that only 2 will not be used. So I will do the first one for you guys. So if you guys want to follow along, I'm going to zoom in so that you guys can see. But I will explain how to do this first question, and it's on you guys to finish it up. So everyone ready for me to explain that first question? Give me a thumbs up. Awesome, awesome. All right, so remember we have two equations. So I have one right here, and then I have this one right here. So we have two. We're gonna graph each one separately on the same graph, all right? So I'm gonna always start with the number in the back. That's my y-intercept. So I have a +2. So I'm gonna click over to slide 2. Start at the origin and count 1, 2. I'm gonna plot that point right there. So that's my first point. Go back to question 1. Well, this is being recorded, so if anything, you can watch the recording later. If you're lagging that bad, then just watch the recording afterwards. And then we're going to use this slope to tell us how the directions on how to go to the next point. This is a +1, so that means that I need to go up 1. This is a +4, which means I need to go to the right 4. So go back here. Again, starting from that point that I already drew, I'm gonna go up 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, plot that point. I can't go another one, and I have all this empty space over here, so I probably wanna go backwards. So instead of going up, I'm gonna go down. And instead of going to the right, I'm gonna go to the left. The way it would look would be -1 and a -4. Why? Because if I look at the original, both of these were positive. So what's the opposite? 2 negatives. So a negative on top and a negative on bottom. So I can go down 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then plot that point. Last step is to connect my dots. So I'm gonna click here, drag it, click there, and I'm gonna change my color. All right, so we have one of them done. We're gonna go to the next one. And this time I'm gonna change my color to red. I'm gonna start this time with -3. So I'm gonna pretend that this line isn't even here, and I'm just gonna start all over again. So I'm gonna start at 0, go down 1, 2, 3, plot my point. And then I don't see a number right here. And this will confuse a lot of you guys. Whenever I don't have a number right there, I have an invisible 1. So what does that mean? I have a -1 on top and a 1 on bottom. Or again, we can do the opposite if we want to, and we can have a +1 on top and a -1 on bottom. If I have the negative on top, that means I'm going to go down and 1 to the right. If I have a positive on top, then I'm going up and a negative. 1 takes me to the left. So here, I'm gonna go down 1, 1 to the right, plot my point, down, 1 to the right, plot my point, and then do the opposite, up to the left, up to the left, up to the left, up to the left. Oh, I already see where they both cross. And then connect my dots. Now, just connecting your dots or drawing your lines is not enough. You need to tell me where they both intersect. So I want to know where they both intersect, which is right there. What's that point? Well, I see my x is -4. And my y, I go all the way over and I see that this is 1. So my point should be -4 and 1. This is 4 and -1. That's not what I want. So the one I want is this one. So I use the highlighter to highlight it. I saw a lot of students highlighting the question with the answer and then changing it to a different color for the next one. So these two are together, then someone else like changed the color and then did this one, and the answer they colored it in with the same color. So you guys can do that too, or you can just color in whatever the answer is, you know, just this part or this part. So this is your first option. If you know how to do these questions and you're good, just go on to here and you guys can work on this. You don't have to stay in Zoom if you don't want to. You guys can leave and work just on this. However, if you are still having lots of issues, because graphing is a huge part of this final, it's the majority of your final, then you want to click on solving systems by graphing. That's still week 8. Right above your notebook, it'll be Monday's homework. 5 of you guys have already done it, so maybe those 5 of you guys are good. But you're going to type in your name, and then you guys will be working off of this one right here. Okay, so Ms. Gomez is going to walk you guys through how to do each one of these, and she's going to go very slow, really explain how the slope part works, and talk to you guys. Like, you guys need to talk to her. If there's something that you guys don't understand, please, please, please ask her. If you feel uncomfortable asking her, then ask me and I'll ask her. All right, we'll play telephone. All right, but today is the day to ask her anything you guys need about graphs. So if you don't understand the slope, as she's like doing the question, if you guys go, that's the part I don't get, write a message either to me or to her and say, that's the part, explain that part again. And we will stop and explain that part. No big deal. All right. But for those of you guys working on this assignment, as you guys are going through it, I'm going to send you guys little comments telling you guys, oh, these are great, keep it going, or hey, you went the wrong way. So look for all of my messages. All right. Any questions? Now, if you are not opening anything and you're just paying attention to Ms. Gomez, then you need to send me a message letting me know you are focusing on Zoom and Zoom only. Because if I notice that you guys are not on any of your assignments, either this one or the other one, I will be kicking you guys out of class and showing you guys on attendance that you guys aren't following along. Now, if I see you guys messing around, again, I need you guys to focus. Today is the day for you guys to pay attention. All right. And that's it for me.
So think of this as like tutoring time. Some of you might already know how to do this, and there's some of you that don't know how to do it. So we want to figure out what part is it that you need help on, and how can we help you guys get better at this? Because if you think about it, you started with slope back in week 1 of this semester or quarter. So it's like we're reviewing week 1, but still adding the new part of systems of having a second equation on this graph. Okay, so think of this time as to just clear up anything that you're not understanding, and to ask us any questions, or to say, hey, can you go back? I didn't understand that. Okay, so if you need the extra tutoring or help, we are going to, oh, here we go, share screen. We're going to be, let me move this over here. So
and some of you guys have been absent a lot. So for those of you guys who are absent a lot, pay attention to what she's doing and ask her all those questions, because this, again, like she said, it's going over everything that we did at the very beginning of the semester. So if you guys, were absent a lot, she's going to help you guys out. So pay attention.
So even if let's say you're relearning this now and you have missing assignments from week 1 or week 2, then that'll also help you go back and turn in some of those missing assignments, hopefully. So we're going to be on week 8. You want to count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 assignments down to get to that assignment from Monday. Remember, this is your homework assignment, but we're working along with you guys for the extra practice and extra help. Oh, so this is the one that I've already completed, so I'll have to change my name on this one. Let's type in Miss Gomez 1, see if that helps. Okay, perfect. So this is Monday's homework assignment where we gave you 2 equations and you want to solve the system, which means we have 2 lines that we need to graph on the same coordinate plane, and we need to find where they intersect, where they cross. So since you started working with these equations, we've told you there's 2 steps to graphing them. And the first step we always start at is your y-intercept. So I'm going to be working on this second equation, second system of equations, since the first one was our example for your homework. We'll look at the first equation up here. And we'll graph this one here. So the first step, and let me know if this is the part that confuses you. This is where we can also slow it down and talk about it. The first step is to find your y-intercept. That is the number at the very back of your equation. That is our y-intercept, the +4. So that's where you start on your graph. You go to the coordinate plane. On this line here are y-axes that goes up and down. You want to start by going up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that puts us here. So give me a thumbs up if you understand how to start by putting the y-intercept on your graph. Give me a clap if you need some help understanding that part. Okay, most of you are okay with the y-intercept. So it might be the slope where we have a hard time, and that's okay. Slope gives everyone a hard time. So for our slope, you use the number that is in front of the x. The only number we have left in this equation is 3. So I'll write it down on the side here, the 3. We're going to use that to go back to our y-intercept and put some more points somewhere on this graph. But in order for us to be able to use that 3 correctly, we have to understand what slope is. So I'm going to go, let me give myself some more space. I'm going to write what slope is here. So our slope, when we talk about slope, we're talking about a fraction. There's some number on top, some number on the bottom. The top number we call our rise. So the number on the top of our fraction is our rise. Now, the word rise makes me think of the sunrise, the sun. The sun can rise up. So our number on top can tell us to go up. Okay. Oh, so our number on top can tell us to go up, or the sun also comes down when it's late, when it's starting to get late at night. So our rise can tell us to go upwards or downwards. How do we know if we go up? How do we know if we go down? We go up if we have a positive number on the top. We go down if we have a negative number on top. But remember, if you do have a positive, the opposite of that is also a negative. So if we're ever out of space on the coordinate plane, we might have to use the opposites. Okay, so the number on top is what we call the rise, to go up or down. The number on the bottom is our run. So we can run to the right, that's going in the positive direction, or we can run to the left if that's going in the negative direction. And if you think about it, we kind of have these axes on here. We have the up and down, and we have the left and right axes. So that also helps you out when thinking of negatives and positives. Okay, so let's go back to our actual slope for this equation. We said it's 3. But slope should be a rise over run, a fraction. Anytime you have a single number and you don't have a fraction, you can put a 1 underneath it, and that gives you a fraction. Why can we do that? Because 3 over 1 means 3 divided by 1 is just 3. We didn't change that number. It still stayed at 3, but we want it as a fraction, so we can put the 1 under it. So if I had a 4 and I want to write that as a fraction, I put a 1 under it. If I had a 5 and I want to write it as a fraction, all you have to do is put a 1 underneath it. That gives you a fraction. So give me a thumbs up if you understand how I got this fraction, the 3 over 1, just by putting the 1 under it. Give me a clap if you're not too sure where that came from. Okay. Okay, so now we have a slope, which is a fraction. We got it from this number 3, 3 over 1. Right now, as it is, we have a positive 3, so it's telling us to go up. And we also have a positive 1 in the bottom, which is telling us to go to the right. So let's just follow those directions. So think of your slope as giving directions. So you're starting here. You want to go up 3 and then 1 to the right. So we'll do that. Here's my y-intercept. I need to go up 3. 1. And then I'm out of space. There's nowhere to go. I can keep going, but there's no coordinate plane there. But let's see what happens. I go up 1, somewhere 2 here, somewhere 3 here, and then 1 to the right. My point is somewhere way outside of the coordinate plane. So that's not going to help us. Let's just say we're connecting it here. It's not going to help us if our other line is on the coordinate plane down here. So this is what we mean by using the opposite slope, by going backwards. So if I went up 3 and I went 1 to the right, I can do the opposite and get back to the point where I started from. I can go down 3 and 1 to the left. And I'll repeat that. 1, 2, down 3 and 1 to the left. Down 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1 to the left. You can do that as many times as you want to get a long enough line. 1, 2, 3, and 1 to the left. But think about it. We went the complete opposite way. I went up 3, then 1 to the right. To come back, I'm going down 3, 1 to the left. 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 This is why we use the opposite slope. When you're out of space or it doesn't fit in the coordinate plane, we can go backwards. So now that we have points on this coordinate plane, we can go ahead and connect them here. And these markings that you see here, all of these markings can get confusing. That was just for our slope to help us put some more points. And you can get rid of them so that you don't have too much on your paper. If we were in a traditional classroom, then we'd be actually counting and showing you with our hands and not really writing that much markings on here. But the only way we can show you here is by actually writing along the page. But this is what the actual line looks like when we've connected all those points that we got from using our slope. So we finally graphed the first line. Don't worry, if you're still confused with slope, we're trying again. There's 2 equations, so you have to do the steps again. So let's use the second equation here. I'll use this purple here. We need to graph this equation down here. Y equals -1/2 x minus 3. Can anybody tell me what the y-intercept is? The number in the back that we start? what is our number that we're starting at? What is our y-intercept? Oh, yeah, good job, Fer. -3. So this time, we'll start here at the center and count down 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. That was our y-intercept. So now look at this equation. What is our slope?
1/2.
Ooh, close. There's that 1/2 there. But maybe if I zoom in, you see it a little better. What is that symbol in front?
-1/2.
There you go. Good. It's
That
negative
negative
1/2.
matters, guys.
So you want to keep that in mind. Otherwise, it'll throw off our line and then we won't know where these intersect. So I'm going to write that -1/2 here. That negative is in front of the 1, so I'll put it in front of the 1 and the 2 on the bottom. So it happens all the time. It even happens to me, actually. I can forget that negative if I'm not paying close attention to it.
Or you'll do what I did last period and go, wait a second, what is going on with this slope? I went negative and then negative again. So again, always double, triple check, because you're bound to do something wrong.
Yeah, even we make mistakes, but we always go back and double check our work to see what's going on, make sure everything's right.
Or we ask for help, because I even asked for Ms. Gomez's help. I was like, wait a second, I need you to do this because I don't see my mistake. What's going on? And then she was able to help me see what I was doing wrong. See, I even asked for help.
We all do. Okay, let's use our slope. Remember, rise is the top number, running is the bottom number. So when I look at this slope, my rise, the number on the top here, is a -1. So I'm either going up or I'm going down. A -1. Type in a U if that's going up. Type in a D for down if we have to go down. What do you guys think? Is a -1 telling me to go up?
Down because it's a negative.
Yes, good job. So we are going down 1. Now look at the bottom number. It's our run. We run to the left if we have a negative. We run to the right if we have a positive. Since there's no sign here, that's just an automatic positive. So this 2, am I going left or am I going right? You can type in an L for left. You can type in an R for right. Yes, good. Positive means we're going to the right. So let's go back to our y-intercept, this -3, and use the directions that your slope is giving you. You're going down 1 and 2 to the right. Down 1 and 2 to the right. So give me a thumbs up if you're understanding slope better. Give me a clap if I'm still not quite sure. Better? And it's okay if you're still not quite sure. There's other ways we can talk about slope. And I'm actually going to talk about another way of using slope here. Dr. Brown brought up a really good point for first period. And I like it, so I'm going to steal it from now on. I'm going to use it all the time.
Granted, it made me so hungry. I told my husband, I'm like, we're getting this. And now I want burgers.
Yeah. Okay, so let's think about your y-intercept here, where we started, the -3, as your house, where you live, your home. And your slope is basically telling you how to get to your favorite restaurant or your favorite coffee shop. We'll use Starbucks for now, since we really needed Starbucks, and talking about food is just going to make me hungry. But anyways.
Yes, and I like made so many people angry.
Then I'll be hangry. So we'll start here. Think of the y-intercept as your home. This slope here is going to tell us how to get to, I don't know, Starbucks. So to get to Starbucks, I have to go down 1 and 2 to the right. So now we're at Starbucks. Long line, but after a while we get our drink. Now you have to go back home. If you want to go back home, get me a cookie. I'll get you a cookie. Anybody? The cheese Danish are pretty good too. Okay, I'll pick one up for you.
I like the pops. The cake
Oh
pops.
yeah, the cake pops.
Cake pops are good.
They're
the
probably
breakfast
sold out by
sandwiches.
this point. No, I'm just kidding. I'll get some. And if not, I'll go to a different Starbucks. But anyways, let's say we're here, we're going back home. Okay, then you go back the opposite direction. You go backwards. To get back to your house, you have to go left 2 and up 1. Go left 2 and up 1 to now pick up some other food. See, and it helps us put more points because at this point here, we don't see if these lines intersect or not. We don't see anything. We just see one separate short line here and a and a bigger bag, a bigger bag of chips. I was thinking a bigger line on the other side. Chewy Chips Ahoy is superior.
Oh my God, I
are
love
good.
those.
So see, going from Starbucks back to your house did not give us enough points. So what we can do is still use the slope backwards and put more points on here. So now since Isaac wants some Chewy Chips Ahoy, I'm going to Walmart or Target, whatever your preference is. So we're going left 2 and up 1. But we're just going backwards from what we did in the first place. We said go down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2. I'll go left 2, up 1, left 2, up 1. And I can keep doing that as many times as I want, as long as there's space. Left 2, up 1. That's what we're
Be careful, guys, because some of you guys are like asking me like, hey, can you check this because this seems wrong, and you guys are doing the exact same thing I did. You guys see that negative and you're going negative twice. So you're going down and left. You can't do that unless you're going backwards from a positive slope. So remember, always write the word slope and go, okay, is slope going up? Okay, that's positive. Is my slope positive? No, then that means I did it backwards and I did one of them wrong. So double check that, because I made that mistake too. I was like, why isn't this working? And then I'm like, oh, because I did that. I did that twice. Yeah.
Yeah, let's look at this one again. -1/2. We didn't have both of them be negatives. Only one of them had the negative sign. So this negative belongs to the top, and this 2 down here is a +2. If you're going backwards, then you have to make both of them go backwards. This would be a +1, and this one would be a -2. You can't just say, well, I'll make one negative and leave the other one as it was. Then you're not changing both things. You're not going backwards. So think about being at Starbucks. And if we want to go back home, you could have even gone up 1 and left 2. But see, we're still going up and left. In this case, we're going left and up. So we're doing the complete opposite. So you're going backwards. So now that you have enough points there, you can go ahead and connect them. Okay, we have that purple line, and you can get rid of your little slope markings here so you don't get too confused with what's going on. Now that you put enough points, you can connect them, and you have your 2 lines. Your 2 lines do intersect, they cross, and they cross at this point here. I should use the yellow, it may be easier to see through that. There we go. So this is where they intersect. To find the correct point of intersection, okay, you want to start at the center and then see how you can get to that point. We have to go left first. 1, 2 to the left. That's a -2. Then we go down 2, 1, 2 down. So that's -2. And that's where our solution is, -2, -2. So if you're still looking at this and you're saying, okay, I kind of get it, we're still going through more examples to make sure you get the slope, because we know y-intercept is a little easier for you, but the slope step is what's giving you a hard time. So I'm going to erase this. And we're going to look at the next system of equations. So does anybody have any questions here on this one that you want to ask now that you maybe were like, okay, not quite sure? And if you want to wait for the other example, that's fine too, but you can always let us know. You can let Dr. Brown know or myself.
Yes, there is going to be an exit ticket, and one of your classmates just finished, and this guy's a beast. You're too fast. Oh my goodness.
Okay, here we go. We're moving on to the next one here. Y equals 4x minus 1 is the first equation. Y equals negative 1/3 x minus 1 is your second equation. When we have a system of equations, you want to graph both of them. And we want to find where they intersect. So you have to start with the first equation. Okay, the first step is start with the y-intercept. So look at this first equation. What is our y-intercept? Okay, let me write this down here. Maybe this.
-1.
Yes, good. If I write this, y equals mx plus b. I'll write this and keep this up here for you guys. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to do that, and then I meant to do that. Okay, this equation here tells you what each piece is. The b is our y-intercept. The m, that's our slope. Does that help? So hopefully it helps you figure out which one is which. So let's go back to this equation. Hiram said the -1 is our y-intercept. Yes, that is correct. The number at the end there. So start here at 0 and go down 1. That's our y-intercept. Now you're going to use your slope to go to Starbucks or wherever it is you want to go. So look at the slope. In this case, it's 4. Now, when we use slope, go back to this, we want to have a fraction. So we can make that into a fraction. Just put a 1 under it. And that's it. You have a fraction. So this is where some of you start to get a little confused. You start to say, well, what does it mean, 4/1? Look at their signs. This is a positive 4. There's no negative there, so it tells us it's positive. The number on the bottom is also positive because there's no negative there.
Wouldn't it just basically be 4 then?
Say that again?
Wouldn't it just basically be 4 then?
Yeah, exactly. 4/1 just means 4. But when you want to think of your slope, it's giving you directions. You either have to go up or down, but then you're going to have to go left or right. That's what slope is. Going up and down, see the rise, and then your run is going left or right. So it is just 4, Alondra, but you want to think about it as a fraction to make sure you get to the correct spot.
Okay.
So now that we have a positive 4 on top, does that tell us to go up or go down? You can type in U for up or D for down.
What was it?
The +4 up here, the rise?
Up.
Up, good. Remember, positive is up. And then when we look at the number on the bottom, the +1, are we going left or are we going right?
Right?
Right. So go back to your house here. Let's go to Starbucks by using those directions. Go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go 1 to the right. You're at Starbucks now. We can put more points on there by using the slope again, the exact same directions to go up 4 and over 1, but there's no space here. So let's just, here we go back to Starbucks.
The bottom one, if it was a negative, you would go to the left, right? And then if the top one was a negative, you would go down.
Correct. There you go. Good. So if we want to go backwards, you could think about it that way. Let's go completely backwards. If we want to go back home, there's 2 options. You can just go left here, down 4. Or you could have gone the other direction. You could go down 4 and then 1 to the left. So what you said, Alondra, it's exactly the same thing. So it's up to you. You could go down 4, 1 left, down 4, 1 left, and see that gives you another point. But we went the complete opposite direction. We went back from Starbucks to your house. So let me do that one more time. Think about us going up 4, 1 to the right. We're going backwards, back to your house. 1 to the left, down 4. And you want to repeat that. Down to the left, down 4 and 1 to the left. And that gives you all those points there. Connect them and you get a line. Let's say I remove those pieces that helped me out, and now we have that line there. So we were giving you those options before. If you have that +1 here and a +1 in the bottom, the opposite to go back home would be to go -4 over -1. So that's the opposite to go back home. So don't worry if you're understanding it, you're getting there. There's still more practice to come, so don't worry. Let's look at the second equation. This bottom one here. What is our y-intercept? Use this up here if you're not quite sure. This number here is the slope, which means this number back here has to be the y-intercept. Look at this equation. Oh, close, but once again, Alfonso, look at the number in the back. That number is our y-intercept. So take a look at the number at the very back here. What number do we have at the end? Yeah, that's your y-intercept. This one right here, the number at the very end. Does that make a little more sense? Okay, don't worry, we'll keep practicing. So we have a -1 as our y-intercept. We want to go back down to -1 and put your y-intercept. Notice how this pink dot is right on top of that green dot. Means they have the same y-intercept. That was a -1. This was a -1. Okay, now we need to use our slope to get to whatever place you want to go. Starbucks, In-N-Out, Chelos.
That's where I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Cello sounds so good with their like like homemade ranch dressing with those French fries.
Their
Oh my
ranch dressing
God.
is so good. I always get the club sandwich.
Oh no, see, I get the bacon burger.
I've had that too. It's good. And their chicken burger is good too.
Oh my, that's what my husband gets. My
Mm.
daughter gets the grilled cheese,
Mm.
and my son just wants the French fries.
Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at our slope now. Our slope is the number in front of the x, the whole fraction there.
Apparently, my son is listening to this conversation and was like, "I would also like ice cream, please." I'm
Oh.
like, "Wow."
Okay, take a look at this fraction. We have that -1 in the front over a +3. Or if you're not quite sure why that's a positive, okay, only one of these numbers was negative. You don't see negatives on both of these here. Since there's one negative, one number is negative, and the one on the bottom is a positive. So you can even write that little positive there. So give me a thumbs up if you understand why I wrote this as -1 over +3. Give me a clap if this is where you're maybe not understanding the difference. Or send me a private message to let me know that maybe you don't get it. That's totally fine too. Okay, so I'm assuming you get it since I'm not getting any claps or messages. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not getting any messages. The only messages that I've been getting so far have been for the homework assignment for today. So
Okay.
they
All right.
actually are, trusting you in without me having to play telephone.
Okay. So a -1 on the top, that's your rise. A -1 either means to go up or to go down. So let me know in the chat, U for up or D for down. What does this -1 tell me to do? Or you can unmute yourself and tell me too. Good. It means we are going down 1. Now look at the run, the number on the bottom. It's a +3. Negative, we go left. Positive, we go right. So we know to go to the right. So go back to your house here. And let's go to Starbucks again. We go down 1, 3 to the right. Now you have to go back home. You go 3 to the left, 1 up. If you repeat that, you get to put another point there. 3 to the left and 1 up. You have to go back home. You go down 1, 3 to the right. Go back to Starbucks, down 1, 3 to the right. We're just using the same directions forwards and backwards. But how do we get there? We get there by using the rise of a positive means to go up, of a negative to go down. Then you run right if it's positive, left if it's negative. Okay, go ahead and connect those points since our line is pretty long and we get a good idea of where these two are going to intersect. We can get rid of these little markings if you want. If you want to keep them there, you can keep them there because all we're really interested in is finding this one, the point where they intersect. And that point is at 0 here, the origin, which means our x coordinate is 0. And then we went down 1 for our y coordinate to get to that point. 0, -1 is the solution. That's where these two lines intersect. Okay, so at this point, It seems like you guys are understanding slope a lot better, but I want to ask you guys if you're okay with getting the point. Do you know where I got the 0, -1 from? Give me a thumbs up if you understand. Give me a clap if you want me to show you why it is 0, -1. And that's just finding the location of a point. You're okay with that? Okay, so we've gone over a couple of examples. And at this point, I'm gonna see if you guys want to continue working on your own. So if you wanna go back and work on this assignment on your own, or if you wanna work on the maze on your own, that's fine. But if you would like another example, if you would like me to work through this one here, give me a thumbs up. But if you're good, then we'll give you the rest of the time for today. Okay. I have a couple more. Okay, so I'll go through this last example here, and then we'll give you the rest of the time to work on the rest of these assignments on your own, okay? But make sure you're asking questions. Okay, good. Make sure you're asking questions so I understand where it is that you're having trouble with, or if it's just because you want to make sure you're doing it right, that also works. Is that good enough? Did I zoom out good enough? Or do you need more? Okay. All right, here we go. So we're working through this next system of equations. There's 2 lines that we need to graph. Start at your y-intercept. The number at the very end. -3. Go to the center of your coordinate plane. Right here is our center, and move down 3. 1, 2, 3. Now you want to use the slope, the number in front of the x. That is our -3. We want a fraction. So it's a good idea to put the 1 under it. Remember, if you just have a number, no fraction, put the 1 under that number, and you have a fraction. So give me a thumbs up if you understand how I got this slope. Give me a clap if you want me to go back and see where I got that slope from. So thumbs up if you get that slope. Clap if you need help getting that slope. Okay. All right, let's take a look at your slope. Remember, it's rise over run. This -3, are we rising up or are we rising down? Give me a U for up, give me a D for down in the chat. U if I have to go up, D if I have to go down.
You go down.
Good job, Alondra. We're going down. So let's go down. 1, 2, 3. What happens here if I do go down 3? So if I go down 3, I'm out of space. There's no coordinate plane here, which is okay. We can still just keep going down 3. And then this +1 means I go right 1. And I would be outside of the coordinate plane. So if we're outside of the coordinate plane, we have to use that slope and go backwards. It's not going to help us to be outside. So go backwards. 1 to
That's possible
It is.
though? That's possible though? For you to even be able to go outside of it?
no, right? So when we go outside, it's not, we can make our coordinate planes longer, but it's not going to help us if we're outside. So that's why we always talk about using the opposite slope.
Yeah, so I mean, remember, lines keep going forever and ever and ever. So is it possible? Yes, but we have that one graph and we need to make sure that all of our points fit inside there.
Mm-hmm. So since we're out of the graph, it's not going to help us. What we want to do is go back onto the coordinate plane where we can. So that's why we talk about you going backwards, use the opposite. So think about this slope we have here. What is the opposite of a -3? Opposite of a -3, what is that?
+3.
Yes. So we write the +3 on top. Now, down here in the bottom, we had that +1. So what is the opposite of a +1?
-1.
There you go. See, Alondra, so when we are out of space, when we don't have enough space to put our next point, we use the opposite. Go back to your home here and go up 3 and 1 to the left.
So basically you just like do the opposite of your fraction.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Okay.
Repeat that again. Go up 3, 1 to the left. See, so that's why I was using the example of you being at home, having to get to Starbucks. We can still get to Starbucks. We're just out of space here. But just go back home from Starbucks to your house and then repeat that. Up 3, over 1. Up 3, 1 to the left. That gives us enough points. This point down here isn't going to help us. So we did the opposite. Up 3, 1 left. Up 3, 1 left. And then we can actually connect these points and get a line. Okay, so I'll have you guys walk me through this one just to make sure we're good. Look at the next equation. What is your y-intercept? We have y equals 1/2 x plus 4. What is the y-intercept? Or give me a clap if you're confused. I don't know what the y-intercept is. Okay, I got a plus 4. So that means we start at the center here and go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now that you have your y-intercept, use the slope. Look at the slope here. That says 1/2. I can write it up here. Let me erase this. I can write it up here, 1/2. Since both of these do not have a negative on there, we can just write that positive there. The number on the top is our rise, which means we go up 1. The number on the bottom is our run, which means we go right 2. And that gives us 2 points. 2 points is enough to get a line, but it's not enough to see in what direction it's going. What is enough to see the direction, but it's not enough to see where these 2 lines intersect or if they don't intersect. So we can go backwards. Remember, I went up 2 I went up 2. Sorry, I went up 1 and 2 to the right. Go back home. To go back home, we go left 2, 1 down. Left 2, 1 down. Left 2. I went down 2. Left 2, down 1.
Your pen says no.
So we're just going backwards, going back home. I went up 1, right 2, going back home, have to go left 2, down 1, left 2, down 1, left 2, down 1. That lets me put more points on this graph and connect them. And now we have our 2 lines. We get to see, where do these 2 lines intersect? I just realized that number's already up there. How did it get up there? I must have done, when was this?
I have no idea.
During tutoring?
Probably during tutoring.
Yeah, maybe. So this solution says it's at -2, 3. To get there, you start at the center, we go left 2, and we went up 3 to get to that point, our solution. So 1, you have to graph these 2 lines. 2, you have to find the point where they intersect. Sometimes they intersect, sometimes they don't. Remember, we can have those 2 lines side by side. Okay, your anime world and your world never going to come together. That's the 2 parallel lines where we say no solution. In this case, these 2 worlds do intersect, but it's still not your anime world. I'm just kidding, that's mean. In this case, we do have lines that intersect. No,
I'm throwing shade, man.
no. But this,
I'm not that mean. I'm not that mean.
this
Actually,
is
I was during second period when I said that I didn't like In and Out. So
this is like when you watch real movies with real life people in it. You could meet your favorite celebrity possibly one day.
I mean, the chances of that happening, no, but I mean, you know, never say never.
Yeah, I've never met my favorite celebrity, but I have met some famous people in LA when you're just going to the store. Anime is more interesting than real life. I would agree, because it lets you escape reality.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is how we're graphing these 2 equations, linear equations. Remember, it's just more practice from what we were doing in the very beginning of this quarter. But hopefully slowing it down for you guys has helped. And all of these equations are already in y = mx + b form. So you don't have to do the extra work of getting them in that form. We just wanted you to practice graphing a slope-intercept form equation. So at this point, I'm going to let you guys finish the last 2 on your own. So you basically only have 2 questions left for your homework from Monday. You can go ahead and take a screenshot of this. You still have the assignment from Thursday today, your maze. It's the same thing, but you have to use page 2 to graph them instead of graphing them on the same page.
And what I'm noticing, guys, some of you guys are done with your maze, and I don't understand how you're done with the maze, but not done with the graphing. So make sure graphing is 100% done, or else you do not get full credit. You don't get any credit if I don't see all of those graphs done. Because that's called cheating. And y'all aren't cheaters, right? You guys would never do that. Yeah.
We would never do what?
Cheat.
Oh, definitely not.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
that's not what I did in first semester. Actually, no, miss, it wasn't me, and you know it though. I just,
Wasn't me.
yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are.
Oh no, we not.
I mean, no, we're not. Yeah, totally. But that's it, guys. That's class. Let me open up that exit ticket for you guys. And you guys are free to go. Continue to work on everything. Remember, doing the graph is showing your work. No work, no credit. Make sure that you guys are getting those done. But so far, those of you guys who are working on today's assignment, the maze, you guys are doing perfect, and like keep it going. I was giving you guys comments as you guys were going around. So your exit ticket is open, and that's it. I'll let you guys out 10 minutes early. Again, there's no tutoring since we did tutoring here in class. So for those of you guys who always show up, I'm not gonna open up, the Zoom at all. So yeah, don't jinx it for me. You guys are great. Don't worry